Hi everyone, my name is Nikita Bergerstock and I am going to talk to you about the issues with global inequality. What is global inequality? The study of global economic inequality focuses primarily on the income inequalities across states or across individuals in the world. While the formal type of inequality is defined as international inequality, the latter kind is generally referred to as global inequality. Global inequality is a big problem that we face today. There are many different types of inequality in today's world. There are a number of factors that lead to global inequality. Some of those factors include geography, colonialism, nature of global economic system, population growth, government policies, political unrest, and natural disasters. Geography is said to be a factor because countries that are poor compared to others have geographic characteristics that lead to their economic issues. Government policies are said to play a major role in global inequality due to the corruption in the government. This can lead to many inequalities within a state. Government policies may focus little on citizen concerns with inequality, especially if they are not a powerful interest group. Natural disasters such as hurricanes, tsunamis, and earthquakes can greatly affect those countries that are known to be hit by these disasters. These natural disasters destroy important resources which affect the materials given to their citizens. Natural disasters destroy important economic sectors, increase infrastructure problems, lead to great impoverishment, and force large numbers of people to relocate. One of the biggest issues in global inequality today and every day is poverty. Poverty is the scarcity or the lack of a certain amount of material possession or money. Poverty is a multifaceted concept, which may include social, economic, and political elements. It is said that the 85 richest people in the world share the same wealth as the rest of the world's population. The picture on the right shows inequality on a global scale. $1.7 trillion is shared amongst 3.5 billion poorest people in the world. $1.7 trillion is also shared between the richest 85 people in the world. When income grows, who gains? Out of 100% growth, the richest 10% got 51% of that growth, while the bottom 90% shared the other 49% of that growth. Why we need more equality. Examples of why we need to fight for equality in our world: health, social relations, human capital development, economic process and stability, and sustainable economics. Health. Today, the life expectancy is shorter, while the mortality rate is higher in more unequal societies. Rates of infant mortality, obesity, and mental illness are also 2 to 4 times higher. In more unequal developing and developed countries, HIV infection prevalence rates are higher. Economic progress and stability. Poverty reduction is compromised by income inequality. In rich and poor countries, inequality is strongly correlated with shorter spells of economic expansions and less growth over time. Sustainable economies. Inequality drives status competition, which drives personal debt and consumerism. Another factor of global inequality is gender inequality. Gender equality is also something this world needs to work towards. It is a major barrier to human development. Women have had major movements in today's society and have yet to gain equality. Today, women are still discriminated against in the workforce. Some areas include healthcare, education, and political representation. The gender pay gap. The gender pay gap is the average difference between the remuneration for men and women who are working. Women are generally paid less than men. As of 2016, women were paid 80% of what men were paid, this leaving a gap of 20%. The image shown to the right shows a breakdown of what the gender pay gap looks like. For every dollar men earn, women earn just 78 cents. Women make up 39% of people earning over $100,000 a year. 19% of board members of Fortune 500 companies are women. Only 20% of members of Congress are women. Women make up the majority of the American workforce and hold more advanced degrees than men, but still lag well behind men in employment, especially in high-power positions. The GII, Gender Inequality Index. The GII measures gender inequalities in three important aspects of human development: health, empowerment, and labor market. I shared a picture below that shows the different aspects and what the breakdowns are when it comes to the Gender Inequality Index. Now I'm going to talk to you about discrimination. I think discrimination goes hand in hand with inequality in today's society. Discrimination is the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people or things, especially on the grounds of race, age, or sex. Too many people discriminate against different races, different religions, and different sex and sexual orientations. There are many different types of discrimination. I'm going to focus on racial discrimination. Racial discrimination focuses on those who discriminate against people who are different from them. We have seen it happening for years: whites against blacks, blacks against whites, Americans against Asians, and so on. After the issues with terrorism, a lot of people chose to discriminate against those of Midwestern countries such as Muslims. To me, this is a major issue and a great example of racial discrimination. It shows that as a society we like to base our opinions off of a group who made a bad decision, and we take it out on one race or religion as a whole. Today we live in a world that should be past all that. Instead of looking at one another as black, white, Asian, or any other race, color, or skin, we need to look at people as equal. None of those categories that we like to put each other in should define who a person is. Some other issues with racial discrimination are relationships, education, and job opportunities. Gender identity is another part of discrimination in today's world. Gender identity is when someone identifies themselves as either male, female, or neither. This is one internal sense of who they feel they are. Another issue is that people like to discriminate against those of a gender in which most believe they don't identify as. We have males who identify as females, females who identify as males, and then we have those who identify as both, or neither. Today, people should be allowed to identify themselves as who they want to be, instead of what society tells them is right. Just because they want to express themselves in a different light does not make them any less equal as a human being. This is also a major issue when it comes to a career choice. There are companies who discriminate against a transgender or a homosexual being. We also have a president who decided to take the rights of those away fighting from our country because they identify themselves as a gender they were not born into. This last page shows a page of references that I used to gather information on my presentation. So if you want to look at any of those to read more about what I said here today, you can get these below. And I want to thank you for listening to my presentation on global inequality. I hope you learned about the issues we have to deal with and the ways in which we can change.